Greetings, Lutheran School staff, parents, and scholars. Welcome to Term 3, Week 3. This week, instead of learning something new about restorative practices or restorative justice, we're going to consolidate what we already know. But what is consolidation?
Consolidation has the word solid in it. And when we practice these skills that we've learned, we empower our prefrontal cortex to help us make good decisions. Our brain is made of neurons that look like this, and you can see there's electricity flowing between them. Look closely at how these neurons are connected. It's the connections between these neurons where learning takes place. If you don't yet know something, it's like that first circle on the left. The neurons are too far apart for those electrical currents to jump from one to another. When you sort of know something but are still practicing, that's like the second circle. The neurons can jump and make those connections, but they could still be stronger. But as you practice things more and more, those neuron connections do get stronger, and the learning is so automatic you hardly even have to think about it. Think about how hard it was when you first learned to write. It was hard to grab that pencil and hold it in just the right way so that you could form your letters. You still had a weak connection, but now many of you pick up a pencil and write without even having to think about the letters that you're writing. You have formed those stronger connections. The same thing is true when you practice making things right, when you practice making things fair that weren't fair before. A man named Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Outliers, where he says it takes about 10,000 hours of practice for a skill to become automatic, or for you to become a master at that skill. It will take a lot of practice for these conversations about fairness and making things right to become automatic.
To consolidate your learning this week, I challenge you to practice some of the strategies that we've learned over the past few weeks.
Our first skill was to make things fair by telling the story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and coming to a decision about what is fair, what is kind, and what we do next. Our second skill was about repairing relationships by telling people how you feel, then stating what you need, and valuing the relationship enough that you will say you're sorry when you've done something that's unkind. And finally, you make a plan for what you will do in a similar situation next time. Another thing you might practice this week is naming emotions. As you get older, the number of emotions you should be able to name increases. This week you might pick a new emotion, learn about it, and then take a picture of what it looks like.
Now remember, the practices that we're doing, or the videos or the pictures that you're doing, are not about red zone problems or problems like fights or anything really bad. It's about problems that get you into the yellow zone and that you can get out of yourself. I look forward to seeing some of the videos that you might create about little annoyances in your class or things that might annoy you at home, and instead of going to the red zone or holding it in for too long, you state how you're feeling, what you need, and maybe there's even an apology. Or you might send a video about something that wasn't fair that you were able to work together with someone else to make more fair. For those of you that are younger, you might look at the feelings chart and see how many feelings you can make using your face or your expressions. Think about how you might use your face and your expressions to show emotion like an actor.
The videos or the pictures that are the best examples to others may be featured in a future video.
And as always, remember, anyone can be a student, but at Lutheran School, we're scholars. Have a great week.